All right. What it is, what it was, what it's gonna be. What's up, Restoration Rebels? This is Restoration Roundtable for the 6th of June, 2024. Andy McCabe over here, Joe Spears right over here. And this is the Restoration Rebel Roundtable. And for the first time, I think, in Restoration Rebel Roundtable history, Jennifer Sterling is on time. Congratulations.
Some of us are workaholics. Hi, guys. Happy June.
Party people. Happy June.
Happy June. I'm only celebrating June, Father's Day.
That's it? That's it?
For June.
That's the only thing you're celebrating?
Well, I have a birthday this year.
Oh,
yes. Oh, I am celebrating something. Should I make the announcement?
Oh, yeah, sure. What?
Well,
I'm all ears.
We are very proud as JM Sterling Insurance.
Oh, that's right.
I guess I should.
Go. No, go.
We are partnering with the Helios Group and the IICRC. So Sterling Insurance will be the preferred broker for the IICRC nationally for anyone that has some insurance needs.
Heck to the yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Good job. I like to hear that.
We're super excited.
I'm super excited too.
Thank you.
I want to know all about it, but first we got to do something. I forgot to do.
I want to be super excited too. I turned 40 48 hours ago.
Joe,
I am so unhappy about it. Like, I feel like I can never be in the field again because I'm going to be the old man now.
Yeah, well, I think you'll never, I'll always be the old man. I think that's just...
And then we got little youngsters like Edgar.
And then Edgar shows up. So, all right, here we go. Agreements. This is the Rebel Agreements. Agreement number 1, I'll protect the value of my services. Offering free services only serves to erode the value of similar services industry-wide. Agreement number 2, I will practice incredible transparency. I will explain the claim process to my client. I will not hide pricing details or falsify reports. I will never communicate with an adjuster without also communicating with my client. Agreement number 3, I do not believe in competition. The restoration companies in my market are part of my community. I will be an active member of my community. It is our unbreakable unity that will create the change that we strive for. And agreement number 4, I am willing to walk away from any project, client, or contract that is not compatible with my values and stated mission. No relationship is worth losing money, sleep, or my humanity. All right. Yes. Now we're ready.
I like it.
I think I'm ready for a haircut. It's getting there. Look at this. Look at that. I think it's the longest I've ever had it in my entire life.
Wait,
it's not by choice. It's just from being lazy and not going to get a haircut.
Right? It's like, who's got time? It just keeps growing. So, 40 years old, Joe. Yeah. I cried a little. I'm going to be real. I cried when I turned 40.
I'm not going to lie. Like, I feel like it just feels like my 30s just flew past.
They did.
So, I'm like, there's no way I'm 40. And of course, my daughter's like, Lordy. I'm like, I will sell you to an orphanage. Stop it.
You guys are so cute. I just got my first time. I got a discount for for senior citizen.
Ooh,
what?
Oh, but you've got such a young face. I'm surprised.
Senior citizen discount. They're like for military students or senior citizen. Do you think you'd be eligible? And I'm like, what's the age? And they told me, and I'm like, give me my 10%.
I'll take it. Give it to me. Give it. 10% is, that's not a small amount of money sometimes. So,
no tax. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not too proud to take a discount.
Yeah.
What's that?
Especially for adjusters.
Oh, don't even get me started. Actually, do get me started because that's the subject of tonight.
Perfect segue. Thank you, Edgar.
We are talking about collections. We are talking about arguably the number one issue that restoration contractors have to deal with is getting paid for the work they do. Why is it so hard? It's stupid. And so in the group, should I go to group or to LinkedIn? I'm gonna go to the group, Facebook. I posted something. I cross-posted something that I don't know how many of you guys remember the survey that I put out there. The get paid in full survey. Now I can't even find it. Come on. Oh, because I'm doing my regular thread, not the Restoration Rebel thread. Okay, here we go. Let's see more. Let's share this a little bit. Let's share it up. So there it is. You're going to see everything, but I'm concentrating on the middle part. So we did this survey, 70-ish, 77 of you, or 40-something, 45, I think, contractors responded. We had 74 total. Anyway, I'm just going to read it to you. Here you go. My whole push was we are getting underpaid by at least 50% every single day, and we're being forced to fight for every penny above that. 50 cents on a dollar, and this came out of a post I gave that Mr. Steve Badger was kind enough to jump onto, and we got into it. So here's what we found. 75 claims across 51 carriers and 44 contractors with a total of $44,800,000 invoiced. Claims are underpaid or short paid by 63.42%. And the vast majority of these responses, this money was over 120 days. So this encapsulates the problem. It's endemic, I think, at this point. It's just part of that is the game plan for carriers. We're going to cut them, and then we're going to slow pay them or no pay them. That is just the name of the game. So we have to adapt. And my question on LinkedIn, and you can see it here if you're watching still in the group, was this whole concept of comp bid has been misused for years now. Why should we keep playing this game? And if we know we're heading into this, right? If you know you're gonna dive headfirst into a tree shredder, what would you do? You put on some protection, right? Are we to the point where we're going to have to jack up every single invoice we put out there by 50%, just knowing that no matter what the number is going in, Wardlaw and Sedgwick and all these other folks they're always going to come in at 50 cents on a dollar. No, I'm not advocating for that, but is it a fair question? So I'll leave that to what do you guys think in the room here? No one. I don't think anyone's watching it. Oh, we got 3 people watching. Yeah.
I mean,
what do you guys think?
I think the only way these people like Sedgwick, Wardlaw, Sure Edge, and all those people, we all know who those people are. The only way they're even surviving is by getting these agreements for these insurance companies. So, I mean, there's a lot of people. Like recently, there was one from Sure Edge that she just popped up on like 6 of our claims like immediately, and she was a very passionate individual at what she does, and
she felt strong. She had strong opinions.
She had strong opinions, and she's willing to, try to bluff her way for us to fold. And she just made it really long, really hard for us to even communicate with her. And there's all like, if you give me 50 different line items that you're disputing, it's sometimes not even worth my time to even engage in the conversation. So, and she, after kind of picking at her a little bit and understanding where her levers are, we realized that really what she's looking for is to give the agreement package to the insurance carrier to please them, because that's how they stay in business. So 100%. We're okay with a non-agreement from Sure Edge or Wardlaw or something like that. At the end of the day, they don't pay. They're just trying to promise what
they are not authorized to write you a check or settle the claim.
Yep.
And we as contractors are forced, we're forced to interact and negotiate with these yahoos who are unable to help us. If you can't settle the claim, if you can't write me a check, I don't want to talk to you. You're dead to me. There's no good that can come out of that negotiation. Can I show you the revamped Rebel replies along that note? You said 100 different things, or 15 different things, 20 different things. This email I'm about to use is not that long, but I think it illustrates the point. So one more screen share. So if you're not on ChatGPT, you need to be, because now you can use the Rebel Replies GPT without being a paying member of ChatGPT. They open that up, so you don't have to pay a subscription to use the Rebel Replies GPT. So again, once you go into ChatGPT, it's going to land you here. You're going to go up to Explore GPTs, and then you're going to search for Rebel Replies, and that's how you get there. So I just revised this today. I put it in a start button here, so it says start. And is this regarding a MIT invoice or a repair bid? And this one is a repair bid that I'm about to show you. And it says, please proceed with your overview of the adjuster's response, followed by a copy and paste of the entire email thread. Okay, I can do that. I'm not going to show you the email thread over here, but I will copy his stuff in here. And we're just going to have to move really fast when it has his name in here. That's fine. Adjusters are public figures, right?
Yes, they are.
They're licensed, right? Their licenses are public, so okay. Here.
They have no problem slandering us.
No, they do not. No, they do not. Okay, first off, oh shoot, I didn't tell it what I thought, but okay. Wait a minute. Oh, what the crap? That was weird. It just regurgitated that. Okay, so now it's coming up with our response. Our response starts with, please provide a copy of any Hartford guidelines or standards referenced, particularly regarding the exclusion of supervision labor, reuse of HEPA filters, and any other items mentioned. Please clarify specific items you are denying based on policy exclusions. Provide the insured with the applicable policy language. And then it does a pretty good job of explaining this guy didn't want to pay supervision. His words, this guy's words were, Hartford does not allow supervision labor on residential claims. Another one was, he tried, we put in for a dumpster and he said, no, you just need a dump trailer. Okay, so wait a minute. You're telling me how to do my job. You're telling me that I should use a dump trailer instead of a dumpster because you know best behind your desk. He wanted me to use a quarter of a HEPA filter to replace it, I guess.
Even the Drying's website nowadays says the HEPA filter on their marketing material. It says the HEPA filter should be replaced on every job. They no longer advertise a lifespan or an hour run time on your HEPA filter. So you should be charging a full count every time and replacing it.
I have a good response to that too, if you just dig it up while we're talking.
Okay, where is it? Where's my oh wait, we got people jumping in and out. Where you guys at? No video, you don't get to come on stage. Just saying. Okay, so my point is, we need, if like Edgar, like you just said, it's not worth your time to reply line by line, but I think you should reply line by line, but just find a more efficient way to do it. Like find a machine like ChatGPT to do it for you, and then you can do it at scale, and then you can flip. You're going to flip the situation. instead of you being aggravated and annoyed that you're wasting all your time, you get to waste their time because they have to legally respond to all claims-related correspondence. So bury them with it. Respond with it. Okay, so you said you're going to put that up, Edgar? No.
Let me dig into it a little.
Oh, okay. The other thing I'd like to show you guys that I haven't made into a GPT yet is my collections letter thing. And I'm going to make this, I'm going to work over the weekend and make it into a GPT so everyone else has access to it. Okay. And it is, I've got a thread here, collection letters. So I've got a framework where I collect things like company name, contractor, accounts receivable address, AR at.
So while you're looking that up, Andrew, I noticed at the RIA trade show that there was a couple of companies or entities there that are doing collections for some of our guys. And I was wondering if anybody could share about the success of these paid lien notice holder people, or they charge like $35 for a single report, or 20% of every collection, or, you know, a lot of them talk about how if they don't collect anything, they don't charge anything, and that they take 30% on everything they get that's over a year old. But they try to negotiate getting that money back at a cost of, I guess, 20% of their retention. So has anyone had any success with any of these?
Everyone has a different model when it comes to that. Joe's former company used to do that. I think SFY, does SFY do that now or no?
Do what now?
Collections?
No. I mean, we'll submit and defend and all, but we don't handle the actual chasing down the money.
So you pay third party for that?
Yes. Well,
Okay.
or do it in-house.
The contractor would just, hey, the check's in the mail, then they take it over from there. The contractor will file the lien and stuff. Our job is just email it over, respond to the emails, argue it, get it defended.
Yeah, and there's companies out there that will do more aggressive, but you're paying for the privilege. Folks are paying.
That's when you're talking about how much will you agree to, you know, you're talking about the yin and the yang, because you're talking about, do we have to mark up our invoices so that we can negotiate them down? Because, or do we have to make sure that we consider the cost of the collection service if we do third party it? Like,
you do.
How much money do you pad onto your invoice when you're going to even pay your own staff to call once a week or draft an email once a week trying to collect on an outstanding invoice?
You're not wrong. And that was a crux of my question that I posed earlier, was if we know we're going to have to go through this dance, if we know we're going to be 3 to 6 months out on getting paid, how do we accommodate for that? How do we anticipate that? And how do we build that into our pricing? And should we build that into our pricing?
Sure.
Of course. If it takes you administrative overhead and extra expenses to carry the team to actually chase this money and get it paid, it becomes a necessary overhead that you have to work into your O&P, that you need a custom price list. I think that's the biggest issue just in general. People need to have custom price lists. They have to. And they have to be okay with wanting more profit and building it into their estimates.
You know,
yeah, and I think people want more profit, but they're afraid. I think there's a lot of people that have this shame around money in general, and we don't want to be seen as greedy or or gouging, right?
I think that's an excuse. Not that I don't think people actually feel greedy. Realistically, if you ask anybody in the restoration industry, even if you have we work way too freaking hard for our money. As much of a profit margin that people think restoration contractors make, I think we work way too hard for our money. We deal with too much BS to not be paid this much money. And if you look at the margins of freaking, I don't know, McDonald's, they have like 60% margins net to the bottom line. And all they did was great marketing and perfect a system. And now you walk in, there's
That's
not
right.
even an employee in the store.
And that's the thing is, like, I saw an article the other day. It said, the current price to make a cheeseburger at McDonald's is like a total of like 38 cents a burger. And 3 or 4 years ago, the cheeseburger was $1, and now a hamburger,
It's
a plain hamburger at
$4.50.
McDonald's is like $3, and it's had a 300% increase on its price. But yeah,
A cheeseburger is $3
It's more.
It's more than that.
for that little flat cheeseburger.
Don't show your age.
So the thing I'm trying to say is that whole restoration contractors, they feel, what did you say? They feel ashamed to charge, or they don't want to seem greedy. I call bullshit on that. I'm sorry. That's a poor excuse to saying I don't know how to charge more, and I don't know how to collect when I do charge more. And so I'm going to say this publicly so people think I'm just a good guy. And I will guarantee that, because I don't feel bad charging more, because we provide amazing customer
Edgar's
service.
coming with the hard truth.
I'm going to come at it from the how do I want to word this the right way? From the devil's advocate side here, and I'm going to be the
All right, so Sedgwick. Okay, go ahead.
If you write a good file and you know what you're doing, if you're overseeing and managing a good company and you're properly documenting and marking your T's and dotting your I's, and you're providing photographs and you're providing, all the packet work that is expected and all, then it's not really that hard to get an estimate paid. I really, truly, I hate saying it because I feel like an asshole for saying it, but the people that I feel like complain the most about I'm not getting the money, if you take a look at their files, if you take a look at their policies and procedures, you're going to find out that they probably think they deserve this much, but their policies and procedures are only coming to this far here, and they don't want to accept they think that they should still get the full amount, and they need to take a real look at their own within and determine, why am I not getting some of this stuff approved?
Can I ask you something?
I think there's some of that.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot more prevalent than I think a lot. And that's why I think third-party estimating has become such a big deal lately, because contractors are tired of these people on the street bouncing, within the same city, bouncing around to every company and saying, I know how to use Xactimate. And they're not getting they're not getting a return on anything a lot.
I think we're right. I think we do write better sheets. But yeah, go ahead, Edgar.
I agree. But let me ask you a question. Those people that you're saying that if they were to document better, if this, then that, right? Do those people have custom price lists? Are they charging their own prices? Did they actually deep dive on their financials, provide good tools, a good work environment, working vehicles, good brand, a great culture of, not having to deal with scraps? Do you have a custom price list? Do you have a beautiful business that your employees love working in? 401k, dental, vision,
or you
That's
just
not standard in our
scraping by.
industry. I shouldn't have to pay for all that just because you choose to do it. It's not standard. You're supposed to treat the workers like they're.
So that's the thing. Like, do you throw pizza parties when everyone wants to hang themselves for working overtime?
Right.
Or do you actually create a culture where everybody wants to, be the best customer service person to provide the best customer service?
I would say I deep dive on all of these accounts that I write, and I'm seeing more and more guys that are not doing what you're talking about, Edgar. The culture is not as important. They're not investing in their employees. They're trying to subcontract out as much as they can. The sub has no skin in the game. They're trying to call them a sub, but they're really a 1099. They're hardly even legit. They think just because they paid through Venmo or Zelle that they hired their work and he's a sub. It's a joke.
Yeah.
And then there's the guys that We have a workers' comp claim coming out of the weeds, and they're like, "Oh, that guy's not even really my employee. I don't even know why I'm being accused for the workers' comp claim."
Yeah,
We-
Well,
I
I mean,
just-
I wouldn't work at any of these companies that you're saying that, if they were to charge a standard price and they don't have a problem with getting paid by the insurance company because they do all of these things that they're in compliance. Most of those companies you walk into, you want to run out of because it sucks.
Well, and also, I mean, we're about 5 years away from, I mean, I honestly feel we're about 5 years out, 5 to 10 years out, I'll say, before we see a massive paradigm shift in our industry where it's going to become commonplace for everybody to have more of a custom price list because the labor is just not there anymore, guys. Like, I mean, I don't know any, like, I had a historical home last year that, and it was like historical society, like 100
It
year
was
old.
on the registry. Yep.
And like they had like custom woodwork throughout and stuff. I spent like 3 months trying to find somebody that would even touch that place because no one does it, unless it's plumbing, HVC, or running electrical. The skilled trades are dying out. And one of the reasons why is because they can't survive doing the work anymore because frankly, they're not charging what they should and all. And that's how a lot of companies do survive is, oh yeah, I don't have overhead profit on my estimate. The estimate says it's $10,000 for drywall work plus materials. Well, drywall sub, if you go buy it and stuff, I'll give you $6,000 of it. I'm gonna make 30% of it. That's not how Xactimate was supposed to design. That $10,000 is for the subcontractor in the materials, and then you do your overhead profit on top of that. And most companies, they don't do that. And so I think we're coming up soon on a paradigm shift. But the other biggest issue is most project managers have no fucking clue how construction works. Like they've only ever been paper project managers. They didn't grow up, with the hands-on skills. And so they don't know if the price they're getting is a good price or not.
I think we're getting off. I don't think the caliber of the contractor or the experience and workmanship of the estimator or project manager, those are not major contributing factors to the collections crisis as it's happening today.
Fair.
Because as a remote estimating, I run a remote estimating company. Joe, you did too. You do.
I do too.
You do too. I see a breadth. Like I see so many contractors, right? I'm going to write for and write thousands of estimates for hundreds of contractors this year. And my company QuickCheck is going to defend those estimates and invoices to those carriers the vast majority of the time. And when we see a blanket across the board, 50%, corroborated or comp, when it's 50% every single time, it has nothing to do with how I wrote that sheet.
I mean, I will agree with that. They're like,
it's not like a mystery.
I was looking at the metrics.
They're doing it on purpose. If you look up their financials, any company that you can find, any carrier, they're like 5% liquid in their assets. It's obviously a for-profit insurance company. There's the only way they make money is if they hold on to it long enough for their investments that from their premiums that they collect for it to cycle through.
It's all about the flow.
Cycle. They're 30 to 90-day liquidatable assets, and then if you look at their liquidatable assets and how much they actually hold in each asset class, you'll see why. Or, for example, there's a surge in claims, there's a storm or whatever, and all of a sudden there's a delay in processing claims. It's just a balancing act for them because they need to liquidate. It's like a freaking stock market.
How long ago was Hurricane Irma? 5?
No, 5.
I don't know. We don't have hurricanes in California, really.
2 years? I think it's 2.5 years ago, Hurricane Irma. I read an article, researched article, 108,000 open claims still from Hurricane Irma. Over close to 100,000 claims in Florida were closed without payment. So that's 200,000 claims that those carriers are not paying on. It's all about the float. 2 years on.
That's what blows my mind also is like, most adjusters have, most desk adjusters have their guidance, their rule set is, that you're supposed to have a check issued to your contractors on the repair side, usually within 15 days of getting the file assigned to them. But for the mitigation, by the way, on the mitigation side, they send it off to the third-party review stuff, and those third-party reviewers, from what I've heard, I've been told, they have between 30 and 45 days to get to that file and review it and send it back with rebuttals. How is that even legal when you're going to try to fight me on it after, lien rights have expired and shit? Like, you can't, it shouldn't be allowed to be done. And it drives me crazy that, like, granted, I started in 2003 when I got out of high school and everything doing this, but it was already having a time. I'd love to know, though, like, from some of the older people, because, Andy, I know you ain't old enough to be the older group yet. But, when the hell did this end? When did we start saying, hey, we'll give our bills to the carrier and we'll work with them for you? Like, why isn't that we don't just, I know we advocate for it, but why isn't that it ever even became an issue for us to say, Mr. Homeowner, here's how much the work is?
I'll tell you why.
Because we acquiesced as an industry. Say that again?
Because it was easy. Now it's not.
It was easier, and it seemed like at the time the low friction way to go. It seemed like that would get us paid quicker. But what it's turned into is we're not getting paid any quicker, and now we have to do this stupid dance where we give up our own money in exchange for payment. And we're being forced to negotiate against ourselves on the daily, and it's a problem. I think I did a video on the boiling frog analogy like 5, 6, 7 years ago, and that's where we're at. We are the frogs in the boiling water. We're like, how the fuck did we get in this pot with boiling water? Well, it wasn't boiling when we got in.
I will say, I think the 40 to 50% is, it is absolutely is a fair evaluation because I was actually looking today at the metrics for the company, and right now we currently have like 837 or 847 like claims right now that are active and open, either being submitted in or have been written or whatever. And I had there's like 100 files. It was a big, long 11-page report, and the vast majority of the files that we were working or that I was looking at, I was reviewing the differences on. They were 37% or more being increased over what the initial insurance estimate was. And I'm talking, like I said, over 800 some claims. I think only like 40 not even 40 of them came in. Like we couldn't increase them or they were written well enough. Everything was at least, it went from like no increase to 40, and then it just continued on from there for like 11 pages of increases. Like, it is a massive problem, and you got to take each phase of it, on its own merits. Like, it's a mitigation. I'm arguing this has already been done. Like, I don't care what you say. Like, what you want to pay doesn't change the fact that I've already invoiced my client.
Big difference between mitigation, invoice, work done, cost incurred,
and reconstruction. I'm estimating
reconstruction. Can we start calling them bids? I want to erase the word estimate from our vernacular as an industry. We're either writing an invoice or we're writing a bid, because an estimate just says, hey, adjuster, here's my estimate, please beat it up. That's what we're telling these folks. So it's not an estimate, it's a bid. This is the number that I'm willing to do this work for. Here's the scope of work, here's my number. But you're right, Joe, it's a very different negotiation, because that's where these fugazi comp bids come in. The adjuster doesn't like your number, They just go to the homeowner and say, well, they're too high. You need to go get another bid. You need to get another estimate. Or they'll get their shill in there to write a surprise, surprise, 50 cents on the dollar estimate that they are fully knowing that they don't have any responsibility to repair.
My response has always been to an adjuster. It's always been,
it's their shit, for sure.
When an adjuster's like, I feel like your price is too high, or this is just I can't approve. I'm like, well, good thing it's I mean, I've straight said to him, I'm like, well, good thing it's an estimate, and we're trying to forecast how much this job is, and whatever number we come up with doesn't matter because I'll invoice you for the actual cost when I get done. This is just helping you set your reserve. So you want to set it 30% lower than me? That's fine. That won't change my invoice at the end of the job. That just changes your numbers on a piece of paper for the front side. Like, I mean, I don't have a problem telling them. I mean, that is a true fact. You want to tell me, oh, you don't need a dumpster? I think you only need a trailer. Okay, that's fine. Go ahead and pay the homeowner for a trailer. But when I invoice them, I will be invoicing them for a dumpster because I don't have a trailer and I'm going to get a dumpster, and then it will be services rendered. So either you can have a proper reserve now because I'm honest with you in estimating, or you can have an upside down file when I get done, because your estimate doesn't mean jack shit to my invoice.
Yeah. All of that said, I can see you're very passionate about this whole argument back and forth, but we can talk literally for ages about that. But so you said my estimate is going to help you set your reserves, right? What during your last stint of
my little diatribe there?
Yeah. So what do you mean by that? Because the reserves are set before that.
No, because all the insurance money is in the stock market. Sometimes. So when they write an estimate and they get their ACV, RCV value, that money is pulled out of the stock market and it goes into a fund that's not doing anything but sitting on its ass.
That's absolutely correct.
So can you explain to me at what point the reserve, the soft reserve, is set?
As early as possible.
Very beginning.
You're saying it
from the very beginning.
During the claim filing?
Like when I submit, like if you're the adjuster and I send you over my estimate and we negotiate it and you cut a check to the homeowner, that's the soft reserve. That's why if a job takes 6 months, like you should be updating your pricing for the predominant month materials were bought in, or for the predominant month work was done in, because you need to update it for market values. That's why we always estimate or bid the month the claim was filed. The house fire happened in January, but it took 2 months to pack it out and demo it out and everything. And now here we're 2 months later. I can give you a January price, but I'm buying materials in April. I've got to offset that.
Yeah. Well, there's a very specific reason why program vendors are required to turn in their mitigation not to exceed within 24 hours. And most of them are required to turn in a repair estimate. It's an estimate coming from them within 48 hours. And the reason is the carrier is using their shill, their program guy, to set their reserves. That's it. That's the reason there's a requirement for these quick turns on program work. It's not for the benefit of the insured, right? And it sure as hell isn't for the benefit of the contractor. If we're constantly under this time pressure to produce something, the quality is just not going to be there. The completeness is not going to be there. But then they can point to, well, our guy on our program said it was going to be X. And then from that point forward, no matter who else the insured brings in after that point, it becomes very hard to get them off that reserve number.
So let me ask you this. Where are you guys getting that information of that process? Because I was under the impression, I don't remember who I spoke to, but it was at a insurance conference. There's apparently during the claim filing, the questionnaire that you're asked and the information that's captured up front is essentially put into, there's an AI software that a lot of insurance companies use that puts together a estimate based on historical data and the questionnaire that's answered, a soft reserve about
Yes.
how much money it's going to cost if this claim were to be approved.
Yes,
So
that happens.
that's, in my opinion, that's where the reserve technically is set, but that's not the reserve the adjuster is basing their information on. So
No, that's the reserve for
internal.
the internal. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not
And
even,
guess what?
honestly, it's not even the same department, you guys. They wouldn't
And
even
they,
know.
here's the dirty secret is I would bet, and I don't know because they never share the number, I would bet oftentimes that soft reserve is way higher than what they end up settling out at.
It is.
Of course.
It is.
I would
The
guess
carrier
on
knows
average the soft reserve they're probably chunking out probably between they're
that
pulling
becomes
out
their high
$20,000
bar.
to $40,000 and saying worst case, this is out, we got this on hand if we need it, and then you come out of them and all, but and then the adjuster writes in, he's like at 17, he doesn't know that they already had the 40 out there and everything, but he's at 17 and it's like, okay, that's great, I'm still at 24. Like, I mean, it's not like you can go to a restaurant and say, well, I know how much how much it costs to buy the eggs.
You don't do that? I do that all the time.
It's not like you go to the gas station and say, well, Circle K down the street here is selling gas for $2.80 and you're at $3.05.
And they're going to sell you
I'm going to charge you
$2.80, Edgar.
$2.80.
$2.80.
Tell me.
$2.80.
I'm old. Remember
Yeah,
that. Now, I can be old. Back in
where
my
are you
day.
buying gas? $19.99?
We're at like what? We're at
Honestly,
I paid $5.49 last night.
but it is.
50, 550 here.
Their argument is they're always going to go for they are going for the lowest number. I can go get a 32-ounce Coke from McDonald's for $1. I can go to the gas station and get it for 89 cents. I can go to a concert and buy it for $3.50. It's the same thing everywhere. It all depends on
What
who's
concert are
providing
you
it.
going to?
I'm going to Sticks here real soon. I'm going to have a good time. But
it's been a pleasure. This was pretty fun. I have to.
Hey, Edgar, I'm going to be in town for Contractor Connection. I'm going to be in Anaheim the week of the 17th.
I'm actually
hook up?
basically in Anaheim right now. This is our Anaheim office. Or plus,
all right, let's connect.
Okay, cool.
My
Let me know.
side.
You have my number?
Not yet, but get
Message
it to me
you.
somehow in Facebook or something.
Cool, guys. Thank you.
All right, see ya.
Have a great day.
Please, bye.
Well,
Yeah.
the peanut gallery is surprisingly quiet today, except for, Bitcoin. There's always Bitcoin. I'd accept Bitcoin. I'd start accepting Bitcoin for payment.
Straight.
I know it fluctuates, but I know where it's going to end up.
What is it? My gold's at 2,400 an ounce or something crazy right now.
Gold is? Oh, well, Bitcoin is I'll tell you right now what it's sitting at today. Bitcoin is sitting, Face ID, 70,000 each, 70,800 each. I remember people were saying it was at 30,000. It's like, it'll never be worth anything. Yeah, Bitcoin will be worth $1 million. And then at $1 million, 100 Satoshis, which is like a Satoshi is the lowest integer of a Bitcoin. 100 Satoshis at Bitcoin 1 million, 100 Satoshis is $1. And one Satoshi is 1 penny. I think that's where it's going. So one Bitcoin is going to be $1 million, and we're all going to deal in Satoshis all day long. Anyway, that's my.
and that here's one of the things I'll say about the collection process. It drives me crazy is like, if you don't, we always advocate for, build a homeowner for your files and let them, it's just like how we tell Ward Law and all them, show us in the paperwork where we need to talk to you. Show me in the paperwork where it says I need to give the adjuster or even talk to the adjuster. There's no law that says I ever have to respond to him whatsoever. If he wants to pay the homeowner 50 cents on a dollar, that's a break in contract. I would say because they're not being fully indemnified, but that's not my problem.
And our job is to set up the homeowner for success. And if that success is filing suit and winning, so be it. Our job is to document the file.
Your job is to
them all
make the insured whole again. That's it.
That's it.
Whoa.
That's it.
Behind.
So along those lines, So I had ChatGPT work up a 14-day collection letter. And this is based heavily on Ed Cross's Restoration Collections book. So if you don't have that, go out and buy it. edcross.com. Just make it happen. Let me come here, here, here. So notice, and I'm going to have it write a 30-day collection letter right after this, but listen to the subtlety. Thank you for the opportunity to restore your property. Customer satisfaction is our priority. Hope you're pleased with our. If you know, okay, that's the debt. I called you to see if your invoice may have been overlooked, and I sent a follow-up by first-class mail email. I called today to confirm you received those. We want to make sure all of your questions or concerns have been properly addressed. No, this is the 14-day letter, 14 days after invoice. You mentioned that you were waiting on payment from the insurance company, where I remind you, blah, blah, blah. It's overall friendly. It's stating, hey, you still owe us the money. Hey, if you have any questions, blah, 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 blah. All right, you got that? I say, now...
Andy, I got to bounce out of here real quick and all. I might try to be back before it's over, but if not, guys, y'all have a good night.
Good to see you, Joe.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
30-day past due letter. Now, listen to the change in tone, right? We've given them, in my process, you've got how many? Like a lot. 12 different communications before you get to this point. And then the 30-day letter starts out super strong. This is our demand for payment for the work that we performed at the property. This letter is sent in good faith after the collected balance due. As stated previously, blah, 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 blah. The invoice is now 30-day past due, which is unacceptable. We have made multiple attempts to resolve this issue. And there's some spot in there for color commentary. Now we're charging you late fees. Here's the charge. You have total interest accrued to date, $253. Total administrative charges accrued to date, $456.
Wow.
Total balance due as of today, $14,600. And it goes through. This is, hey, we gave you every chance in the world, and now you haven't. Yeah, right. Now there's late fees, and every good restoration company that wants to get paid should be following a process like this. And should be reissuing invoices at 30 days with late
now, are
fees.
you making sure that this is going in the mail as well as in an email? Are you following up with this in email?
Because I don't work in these offices of these contractors, but I highly recommend they do. Right? I highly recommend spend the money. Buy an envelope, buy a stamp, spend the money.
Okay.
And
I noticed also that this document doesn't say anything about please forward this invoice to your carrier, or
no, it doesn't.
It's not your problem.
It's not our business.
Okay.
Right? When we do that, and I actually.
So you're doing that intentionally.
Yes. I had a client that I brought on, I onboarded last week. And in his initial email, his initial communication when he sends an invoice included language like that. Said, please forward this to adjuster. Let them know we'll answer any questions. That sets the wrong tone, in my opinion, of, okay, that, what's the subtext of that message? The subtext is, I guess we'll get paid when they decide to pay us, whatever amount that is. I want to be unflinchingly accurate and direct when it comes to money. This is serious. This is people's livelihoods, right? You're messing with my money, you're messing with my emotions, right? So we need to take it seriously. We need to take it very seriously, as if our business is dependent on it.
Take back the power.
Yes, exactly right. Okay, I put this question up. I didn't even read it. So how do you think it's worth paying a company 10% to write and collect on all claims just to not have the headaches? Maybe, right? It's a loaded answer from me because I happen to run a company that does something like this, and I don't charge near 10%. 10%, because keep in mind,
10 is low. Some people are charging 20.
Well, in my mind, to write and collect, 10% is way too high because these guys are getting paid no matter what. So, what reality is you're paying them 10% of what they collect, but what they collect is 10% less than what you build. So what's your true cost? It's 20%. And how soon are they able to get that, right? Is it 60 days? So you're taking a 20% haircut and getting paid in 60 days? What good is that money? The value of that money every 30 days reduces to you as a contractor. The money not in your bank is less valuable to you. Every day it's out there and not in your bank. So my company, right? I'm not going to be shy. It's right here. You see it. It's Quick Check. We believe that fundamentally, every restorer, every contractor that does mitigation work should get paid within 30 days, and they shouldn't have to give up. They shouldn't have to give away the farm in order to do that. And our process starts at the very beginning, at the MIT, well before invoices go out, but I don't want to digress. So to answer your question, is 10% worth? It depends on you, right? If you really don't want to, if you don't want to hire somebody in-house, if you don't want to spend the energy yourself, right? What is your time worth? And a lot of guys I know are really like, there's companies out there that do this at 10%, and they are busy. So obviously it makes sense to some people. I just think there's a better way. Did I skirt around that without being too heavy on sales?
Right.
I do it better. I'm the best. Okay, so I think I went through the 30-day collection letter, and then this, once I have it up, we can do a 45-day collection letter and a 60-day collection letter. The 60-day collection letter is harsh. It is, it's a baseball bat. Hey, we are not fucking around here. We are going to sue you and lien you and all the above. But if you're a contractor out there, don't make these letters threats. Make them promises, right? It's this is going to happen. It's not, don't make me do this, because people will call your bluff. If you're not willing to file a lien, don't say you're going to file a lien. If you're not willing to file suit, don't say you're going to file suit.
Fair.
So say what you mean. So, all right. Well,
he's not sure if that question came across.
Yeah. Well, I think he was talking about this question.
I see.
Yeah. I didn't click on it fast enough.
I see.
I mean, I think there's a huge market out there. It's obvious that there's a market out there.
Because we're seeing guys at the shows that are advertising for doing so.
Yep.
And I got some that were saying they take up to 30% if it's a year-old invoice. So,
well, a year old, it's found money at that point.
Sure.
Yeah. It's
but 20% or just, $50 to file the letter or whatever. But they're out there. There's companies out there, and they pride themselves on their success.
Hold on. We have a Matterport and looking into a Ricoh Theta Z1 worth investing. Great question. I would own both. I've got a Ricoh Theta V. The Z1 is better. I like having the flexibility of having the big camera. I've got a Pro 2, Matterport Pro 2, and I've got a Ricoh. And I've also got the, what they call the Axis for a phone. I've got the Axis tripod thingy. Okay, Mr. Witt, if we only do mitigation and refer construction jobs out, what do you recommend we get as referral fee? That's a hot potato.
Well, can I interject on that one?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you all say you want to refer out the construction, if you're referring it out and they're giving you a gift card or whatever they're giving you, that means nothing can be in your company name. Because if you're running any of it through the company, you're taking on the liability, and you should be able to pay for that, because you are going to pay for that if there's a claim for the next 4 years. So I have a lot of guys that are very confused about the
actually subbing it out. at that
Right.
point.
So let's
Okay.
make it really clear what y'all are talking about. Because some of you like to say subcontracting out, some of you like to say referring it out. If you're
Big difference.
subcontracting it out, that means you're running it through the company and you're taking on just as much liability of the guy who's that's performing the work. So in that case, not only do you need to indemnify yourself so that you can let the customer not know that Joey Spumoni exists, but you need to make sure Joey Spumoni is indemnifying you with proof of liability, proof of workers' comp,
Yes.
just so you can make your fancy 20 off of that. If you're referring it, you better make damn sure there's no paper trail and nothing has your logo on there because you are taking on the liability.
Yeah, I wouldn't. If I'm going to take a referral fee, I don't want it to be enough that it actually influences my overall revenue in a significant way, right? If these referral fees become a profit center for your business, that's a problem. That's not what they're designed for. A referral fee or a referral is supposed to be a thank you, not a here, I'm going to make sure you get yours thing.
It's not a workaround. It's not supposed to be a workaround.
No, it shouldn't be a workaround. And the best relationships that I've been a part of professionally in that type of setup, there was no fee changed hands. Because what happens when they come in and they do a shit job? Well, you referred them and you got
100%.
paid by them. You don't want that on you. You don't want any of that on you. So the best relationship I've had, and I've said this a lot of times over the years because it was so good in no subcontracting. Oh, so it's a straight referral. Okay, I get it, Whit. Oh, we get it. So you're not subbing. You're just looking at what should I charge as a referral fee. I'm going to argue.
Take a gift card.
Yeah. Take a dinner. Like, hey, you want to take me out to lunch or take me out to a nice steak dinner? Yes, I'll do that with you. But what I won't do is impugn the integrity of both of our companies by letting money influence this decision. I want to refer someone who's going to be a good fit for my client, not because they're the person that gives me the most money. So back to my story. There was we had a three-way, as it were. We had a restoration contractor that I worked for, did mitigation only, mitigation and contents. We had a repair contractor that did only residential. We had a repair contractor that did only commercial. Those three companies had an infinite loop of referrals. No money changed hands. Why?
That's awesome.
Because they were all in the same town for they were all 20-year-old companies at least. When I was there, the company I was working for turned 50. It was an old company, but they knew they could rely on every mitigation that came through to the other two companies. My company would get in every repair, whether it was commercial or residential. One of those two companies got it, and that was it. And it was to the point where we would respond, and they would come with us. Oh, it's a residential house fire. Okay, Joe's coming along. And we're going to do the mitigation, and you're right there. You're shaking hands with the homeowner when we are, and then it's your job when we're done. That is an ideal situation, and no money has to change hands.
And the peace of mind of knowing that, it is getting taken care of and that, the person you're referring it to has their best interest and they're going to do the work exactly the way you would have done it to get it done. And also, it's important to know that when you give out a referral, you have to be very careful if you're going to be very loose with your referrals, because you could have an E&O claim for actually saying, hey, go use Joey. Joey, I don't do patio covers, but Joey's great. And Joey takes the deposit and goes to Hawaii. They can literally try to put a claim because they said, well, Andy said this guy was great. It does happen. So I always advise people to give a referral and say, here's three guys. When I get back to the office, here's three guys. Know that they have nothing to do with us, so that you are pushing the liability back over to, the homeowner and whomever they pick.
We know they've done good work in the past, but they're not a part of our company.
Correct.
And again, don't diminish that relationship with money. It just adds a sleaze factor.
I agree.
You know, there's always going to be this thing. Oh, why did they really refer them? Because they like them and they do good work, or they gave them $1,500 in the back pocket.
It's slippery. It's too slippery. And the homeowners are smart these days. They know. I had a sub that showed up on my contractor, and I said, wait a minute, I thought you were self-performing the work. And all of a sudden the plumber started doing the demo. And I'm like, well, since you're the one doing the demo, let me see your certificate of insurance. And the guy was like, guess what? He had no insurance. He had no insurance. So I kicked him off my job. Yeah.
You had to. You had no choice. All right. So we're over time. We're at an hour, but what days is Contractor Crawford Connection? Contractor Connection. 17th is a Monday.
They now refer to it, just to make our lives more confusing, as the Restore Convention.
The Restore.
So for any of the newer folks, they're very confused because they've never heard the word Crawford. So it's really confusing now, because all of us old people use the word Crawford. They don't use that. Contractors Connection was the next phase, and now it's Restore. So Restore.
The 17th is a Monday.
This is Restore 24. It's going to be in Anaheim, California, at the Anaheim Convention Center. Hotels are Marriott and the Hilton next to it. It will be June 17th. I think the golf tournament might be, that's right, the day after Father's Day, you guys. So I think the golf tournament is that Monday morning, the 17th, and it goes 17th, 18th, and 19th. And I believe the 19th is going to be an event at the House of Blues for a concert. So that's the 19th. That's a separate ticket. But,
so that means the evening of the 17th and 18th, we could do a Rebel get together.
We could
do an LA. Well, I don't want to assume, Jennifer. I mean, I know you're popular. You have a full dance card already, I'm sure.
I fit everybody in.
That's right. Yeah, I'm gonna put the word out. See who. Yeah, you're welcome, bro. You're welcome. It's good to see you.
Yeah, and I also understand that Restore. I've had a couple of people reach out to me trying to go just to try to check it out because it's a very popular show. It's like it's the cool kids, I guess.
Is it sold out?
I don't know if it's sold out, but I do know that you can't just go unless you've been invited or you're part of their program. So I did have some people reach out and they're like, they won't invite me. And I was like, oh, bummer. So if that is the case, folks, when you haven't already got dialed in, then what I recommend is you gear up for the show that's in September, which is called The Experience. It's in Las Vegas. That show starts September 4th and goes through the 6th.
I'm there.
That is at the Caesar Convention Center. That show is very affordable. This is why I always promote this show. It is under new management this year. However, they are priding themselves and bringing it. It's very affordable for the rooms. They're like $100 a night. The show to bring somebody is, I think, like $149 or super cheap. So it's a great opportunity to bring your technicians, let them see some of the new equipment, get in on some of the classes, get some training under their belts, let them see the new equipment, new software for your office people. And like I said, it's super affordable. So that's a good show. Las Vegas.
Good. All right. We're going to answer one more question and then we're going to go. What about getting jobs from plumbers? Should we pay a fee? Well, it's the same slippery slope.
You millennials started this, and now they want $1,000 a referral.
$1,500 in some markets, $2,500 in some markets. I've heard. So
and
there's
now we
a
have
reason.
A plumbing franchise that is taking a hostile takeover on our industry. They've been
Roto
showing up everywhere. They're looking to increase their franchise, specifically a plumbing franchise, which means
Roto-Rooter, one Tom Plumber right? And they're not the only ones. There's a reason. How did these guys get wind that there was money to be made in restoration?
Because you guys kept giving them referrals. So if you want to
What
keep
did you think was
saturating
gonna
the
happen?
market, they're
Well-
taking work away from you. This is the same thing that happened in 2027 when all these restoration,
2007.
2007, when all these general contractors were doing all these fancy home improvements with people taking seconds on their mortgages and these housewives wanting $100,000 kitchens. And these guys were just gobbling up all those jobs. And then when the market tanked, they all found out about you guys. It watered down our industry because all the contractors came in and y'all had competition, the guys that used to be your subcontractors.
For the
So
first real time. Yep.
be careful because it's happening all over again with the plumbers.
Now, the smart guys, I would argue, Witt. I'm gonna throw this back at you in a different way, Mr. Witt. What would it take?
Questions.
Yeah, it's a great question. What would it take for you to open your own plumbing shop? Think about it. If you're going to be paying $1,500 every job, well, do you really need to do that? I know more than one restorer who now owns a plumbing operation. Right? Because what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Right? And you're just moving yourself up instead of letting somebody else be first position, right? They're always going to call the plumber to shut off the water first. They're always going to call the plumber to fix it. Well, move yourself up. I'm now a plumber. Now I'm getting those calls. Now you're at least competing on the same level, and you don't have to pay them $2,500 for the privilege. You get to feed yourself your own work.
So you're looking probably, in order to do something like that, you probably would have to bring on a full-time plumber at $75 an hour times 40 hours a week times 52 hours in a week. You're looking at $150,000 just for labor for that one plumber.
Yeah. And you got to out. Yeah.
Then you need, another $40,000 truck, another $40,000 worth of materials, and then you need probably another $10,000 worth of insurance. So you got to figure it out. If it costs you $300,000 to get it up and going for the first year, that's a brilliant idea, and that's for a full-time.
Just like carpet cleaning, should be a revenue positive activity. You once you start a plumbing act, if you're not good at contracting, if you're not good at running a business, it's probably not a good idea. You should probably just keep paying people for leads.
Yeah.
Because there's, as those of us that have been there, done that, know it's really hard to run a successful business. It's a lot to it. But if you can, that should be cash flow positive pretty quickly, and then pay for itself. All right. Yeah, you got it. Somebody else wants to buy some insurance from you. Workers' comp, pollution.
That's right. I'm your pollution solution. I guess that's why IICRC just made us the broker for the country. I'll try to keep up with y'all.
There it is.
Yeah, I'll try. I was married to a plumber for 22 years, so I understand that operation and what that entails. But if it's majority ownership of both entities, we're allowed to combine the two entities on one insurance policy. So there's a little bit of savings there.
Ooh, I like it.
And in a lot of these policies that we write, not only do you have the insurance that covers you for water mitigation, mold, it also gives you the same insurance to do all the build back, which includes the plumbing, provided you have your C36 or your whatever license you need.
Whatever license you got. Yeah, I think little fortune telling. I think we're going to see consolidation, vertical consolidation. Where you're not going to see standalone restoration companies anymore. It's going to be a suite of businesses. I mean, you see this in the Service Master brand, and the Rainbow brand, because Rainbow is Mr. Plumber and Mr. Appliance, and I think you're going to see that vertical integration, where it's just going to be a brand, and then all these services, and restoration is just going to be one of the many services.
Right. So get your contractor's license while you can.
Get it done. Get it done.
You
Okay,
should have
so Jennifer,
should have knowledge about what the
we've got to find a way to get me into that show in a couple weeks, but we got a couple weeks to figure it out.
I got
You got me. I got you, girl. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So we're all good in the hood.
Be good. That means we are going to do the Restoration Rebel Roundtable. We're still doing every other week. We're going to do that from LA. Oh, all right.
Don't say LA. LA is not Orange County.
Anaheim is dead smack in the middle of LA.
Never. No, it's not. This is the Orange
Yes.
Curtain. We don't go to LA.
Okay. Okay.
You know.
Nice. All right. Jennifer,
All right.
great to see you.
God bless you all.
Be
Thank
good.
you. Bye-bye.